Billionaire thoughts, billionaire dreams. I know niggas who played ball and gave it up for lean.
Millionaire thoughts, billionaire dreams, but my account in overdraft, I'm about to scream.
Rich man greed,
A poor man prayers,
every man bleeds.
but look how God made us.
Too many losses, it's only right that we win. Yeah, I made a promise I'm never gonna lose again.
Under the Fair Use Act, these videos are for information and educational purposes, and I do not own the rights to any of these videos that are shown. All rights reserved to the original content creators.
Yo, what's going on? It's your boy SL550, and this is the Never Gonna Lose Again podcast. Yesterday, man, I got cut out. My laptop was dying, and it kind of messed everything up. But like I said yesterday, but I deleted this joint, so it don't even matter what I say yesterday. But I'm starting a new, I'm trying to set my shit up to where my connection is great. And so I'm trying this new thing. So hopefully we can get through an entire show. My last 3 episodes have been cut short, unfortunately. But I'm trying to get this shit right. And I'm going to get it right. But anyway, before we start, man, make sure you like, share, comment, and subscribe to the channel. Also, hit that notification bell so you get notified every time your boy go live. Today, man, we're going to tap in with Devory, Darkins, Brian Maxwell, and Brandon Lehman. Brandon Lehman, we're going to tap in with him first. No, actually, we're going to tap in with Fox. So, tomorrow I'm going to try to find, I think Matt Morris actually just dropped the whole video on these Epstein files being dropped. So basically there's all these photos that came out. They're saying that it's a lot of photos people already saw, but there's new photos of Jeffrey Epstein with celebrities and different people. So maybe tomorrow I'll play that video, but we're just going to give a little update on basically some things that they, I guess, found or whatever the case may be. But we'll do more on that tomorrow. Tap in with Matt Morris. He did more of a breakdown going into all these individual pictures. And then we go tap in with Brandon Lehman. He go over this fraud in Minnesota. So it's actually more fraud in Minnesota than people actually thought or what they were actually saying. And we're going to tap in about that. Devory Darkins goes over Trump banning gender-affirming care for minors, which shouldn't even be a thing that we're even talking about today. Like, what are we talking about, bro? We've gotten to a time in America where anything that's just not normal is on the table for Democrats, bro. This shit is crazy, man. We gonna tap in with him about that. Props to Donald Trump for doing that, man, because obviously, bro, it's no way a child should ever go through that, bro. I mean, come on. What are we talking about, bro? There's no way a child could possibly know that he will want to do something or she can want to do something that will change their life forever. It's impossible. Children. It's crazy. Then we go on in the show with Brian Maxwell going over Kamala Harris on Jimmy Kimmel. Kamala. Kamala Harris is probably the most fakest politician ever. Like, ever, bro. I don't think there's an authentic bone in her body. Like, she's so fake. She's so scripted. She can't do anything and it looks like real. Like nothing, bro. I haven't seen her yet say anything where I'm like, okay. No, everything is so unauthentic, bro. She is the fakest politician ever, man. And just think about it. She could have been the president of the United States of America, bro. It's crazy. Anyway, man, let's get straight to it.
Fox News alert, back to the Justice Department and the release of hundreds of thousands of pages of Epstein files. We've got some new pictures from the files to show you, and we're going to go to David Spunt in Washington that has those photos and the latest. David.
Hi, Will. About 300,000 pages. That is the goal.
Yo, hold on real quick because oh my God. Anyway, you could go on Brian Maxwell page. He actually did a whole video on the Democrats being asked, many of them being asked, why didn't they drop the Epstein files under Joe Biden's administration? Literally every single one of them have no clear answer on why they didn't do it. We know why they didn't. And because it was more Democrats in there than it was Donald Trump. Because that's all they really cared about, was putting out the perception that Donald Trump was in the Epstein files and Donald Trump is a PDF and, that whole thing. But now, Donald Trump said, okay, cool. They played right into his hand. He told the DOJ, drop the files, and now look. And now it doesn't even matter though whether Donald Trump dropped the files in the beginning of the administration, at the end of the administration. It didn't matter, bro. Everybody is still gonna make up something. They're gonna make up something on how Trump is. Oh, he's hiding. He's redacting. He didn't put out all the files. He said it's over 100,000 files. God damn, that's a lot of files, bro. I'm not going through that shit. That's a waste of fucking time.
Of the Justice Department to get that in by the midnight deadline tonight, although DOJ says there will be several 100,000 pages released over the next few days and week or so. But I want to be clear that these photographs and some of these documents have literally no context. They don't have dates, they don't have names, they don't have times. Some of the photographs, we recognize people. We want to show one of Jeffrey Epstein and former President Bill Clinton, the 42nd president of the United States, appearing at what looks to be at a party.
Bill looked hammered in that
silk shirts. There are two photographs of them in this Epstein files release. We don't know who the other person is. We don't know when this was taken because the Justice Department does not say so in that evidence. So this is all incredibly nuanced, and I want to make that clear to our viewers. Also, there is a...
Yo, real quick, too. My bad. But you know what's funny is that I seen one of them, guys who go live all the time. They got TDS, and their whole live is always about why you like Donald Trump. Argue with me. I hate Donald Trump. And I seen one of these dudes talking about, he was just like lying about Bill Clinton being, on the Epstein Island and all that. When they literally already got the information out there that, it was flight logs showing Bill Clinton going to the island. So now what is he going to say with all these pictures with him and Jeffrey Epstein all buddy on the island, drunk, fondling?
A lot of redactions on many of these pages. For example, if we have it, we can show. If we don't, we can't show. But it's just essentially black chunks. It talks about a masseuse list, and it just says masseuse list, and there's 7 pages of complete black chunks. And then there's an asterisk in the corner, Will, and it says to protect victim information. And the law that was signed by President Trump after being passed by Congress directs the DOJ to put all of this information online in a publicly searchable format, but it calls on victim information to be protected. The law also clearly states that politicians, titans, industry titans, or famous people, world leaders, politicians, anybody that may be embarrassed by some of the information should not be redacted solely for that reason. So right now we're continuing to look through this. As you can imagine, about 40 minutes ago when the Will Cain Show began is when these documents slowly started coming online. We're expecting about 300,000 here today to be online, but it's tedious because it doesn't have specific information at all, or dates, or any kind of identifying information. We just happen to know, obviously, former President Bill Clinton in that photograph, Will.
So really quickly, David, as a point of clarification, is it a searchable database? You can put in a search term. You can make your way through those documents, even though there's 300,000. You could proactively look for something. It's less a discovery tool at this point, but you could look for something that is currently in those documents. So if it has that function, you could search Bill Clinton, or you could search Donald Trump.
Correct. Some of it is searchable right now. I'm fairly confident to say all of the documents are not uploaded right now, meaning the tranche that's supposed to be uploaded today, because it's a rolling basis to get those 300,000 up. The law calls for it, as you mentioned correctly, to be a searchable database for anybody to be able to go online, search, find information that they need. They're not going to find victim information, but it is notable the Justice Department website made us wait in a queue to get in, and if you didn't get in by a certain time, you've been locked out of that queue. So not not everybody can get in at that time, which will raise questions about the bandwidth and about the site. But hopefully at some point, everybody's going to be able to get in because that's what the law calls for, Will.
Well, hopefully that means you have access as well. You're in before essentially the door closed, David. So I would ask this. We have about 15 minutes left together here on the Will Cain Show. But I would like, because there will be so many questions to be asked, if you wouldn't mind, take a look through that search function. It looks like we've already looked into the idea of a connection to Bill Clinton. We should, for the sake of clarity, also looking for connections for Donald Trump. And I would like, because it's been mentioned on several occasions, both proactively and dismissively, any connections to foreign intelligence of Jeffrey Epstein. So any of that stuff that could come up in a search function in the next 15, we'll appreciate it, David, and appreciate the work that you're doing on this story. Thank you.
Yeah, man. Shout out to Will Cain driving it. But, yo, everybody, they wanted the files. Now they're getting the files. They're making a big deal about this Jeffrey Epstein guy. I want to see what comes of it, though, to be honest with you. Because everybody already knows, like, the first 5 people that come to mind when you talk about Jeffrey Epstein. Come on, bro. We know who comes to mind, bro. But this dude was like not a celebrity, but he was like in tune with Hollywood. He was in tune with all the politicians. Like, so it's not going to be crazy to see people with this dude. Like, he was in tune. I think he was really a spy, though, to be honest with you. They ain't going to say it, though. They're not really going to say that, man. Let's be honest, bro. Any information that is like going to raise the narrative that this dude was a spy, they're not even going to say it. They already know whether he was or not. But they're not going to put that out there because then it's like, you know, he was obviously cool with so many different people, politicians, celebrities, and everything. So, you know, who knows what they got, what this dude had on people, though, man. For him to have an actual portrait of Bill Clinton in his office in a blue dress and some high heels says a whole fucking lot, bro. And mind you, you've seen pictures with him with Bill Clinton. They all buddy, smiles and shit. But he had took time to go pay somebody to paint Bill Clinton in a blue dress and some high heels so he can put this painting in his office. They have this painting. They got one of George Bush too, but it ain't that bad. It's not as bad as that. Anyway, let's get into this next story with my guy, Brandon Lehman.
Learning the Feeding Our Future case was just the tip of the iceberg for fraud in Minnesota.
Now, that is according to federal prosecutors
who
shared
real?
staggering new numbers today. As So Young Kim reports,
all you hear,
more than half of $18 billion spent on Medicaid programs in Minnesota could be fraudulent payments.
The U.S. Attorney's Office had warned about the iceberg of fraud they saw ahead earlier this year. Now prosecutors are giving a sense of just how big the problem could be.
What we see in Minnesota is not a handful of bad actors committing crimes. It's a staggering industrial scale fraud.
Federal prosecutors say they're just getting started looking into Minnesota's social services fraud schemes. Officials say they flagged similar patterns of explosive growth in those programs. According to the Center for Medicare and Medicaid Services, the 14 Medicaid programs at the center of investigations in Minnesota have cost $18 billion since 2018 overall. Prosecutors say they aren't able to put a...
Hey, hold on. They said $18 billion. Since 2018. What's that? So you figure that's about what? 2 point something billion a year? God damn. These motherfuckers be stealing.
Final figure to the scale
18 billion
or
is
portion
crazy.
of fraud in the state. But Assistant U.S. Attorney Joe Thompson says he suspects it could be in the ballpark of $9 billion or more.
It's crazy.
I don't make these generalizations in a hasty way. So when I say a significant amount, I'm talking on the order of half or more. But we'll see. When I look at the claims data and the providers, I see more red flags than I see legitimate providers.
The massive scale of this fraud, coupled with the fact that 90% of people arrested and charged have been Somali, actually exposes a structural problem that is much larger than just the Somali community. It reveals the failures of our immigration policy broadly and the forced government incompetence in the name of woke ideology and political correctness. Whistleblowers made Tim Walz aware of these red flags years ago, yet it was intentionally swept under the rug due to a climate that prevented criticism of any person who was non-white. Any singling out of a group that was non-white, especially non-white and immigrant, was met with harsh condemnation of racism and bigotry. And that pressure was so strong that the ringleader of the Feeding Our Future scam used that in court. She told the judge that the fraud investigation into her organization was racially motivated because they just so happened to work with the Somali community. And so the judge ordered...
Yo, this all they got, bro. That's all they got. It's race. Oh, it's because I'm a woman. It's because I'm black. It's because I'm Somali. Bro, these people crazy. Fannie Willis just did the same thing. And I wanted to play it on the show yesterday, but, you know, the show got cut. I had to just end it. But she did the same thing. Listen, you and who else? Who was the other guy who went after Donald Trump? Like, literally, Joe Biden, whole administration, like, they used lawfare. They went after Donald Trump crazy. Crazy. With trumped up charges, though. Like, Fannie Willis, Letitia James, what's the fucking, Alvin Bragg. Like, bro, they all literally made a name for themselves going after Donald Trump. But with false accusations. Now, you start to see all of this stuff coming out because Trump is exposing it. That's why, yo, bro, this is why they're mad. Donald Trump is stopping the money. He's stopping the money pipeline, and they're sick. They no longer can rob us. But this all they got is, oh, it's because I'm black. I'm black, blackity black. God damn. Fannie Willis, you're on the hot seat because now she tried to change it up. She said she paid, the fuck is his name? Her dude, her man, the one that come to find out was her man, who never even was he a judge, right? He never even went over a RICO case, none of that stuff. This dude, she paid this dude 160 hours in 1 week. Then she tried to flip it and say, oh, I made a mistake. I meant a month. Come on, bro. These people are just robbing, stealing, abusing taxpayers all the way around the board. And they're just mad because they're getting caught. They thought sweet old Kamala was going to walk in the front door and they was going to use because she's black and she's a woman. You not going to vote for the first black woman? Bitch, she ain't black. Fuck out of here, man. Fucking crazy, bro. These people are crazy.
The funds to be turned back on, and the fraud was able to continue. People were forced to ignore facts and evidence and data if it pointed to a group of people that the cultural climate deemed a protected class. Now let's hear from the investigator how this fraud worked and how it was able to get so massive.
Today we unsealed charges against the second defendant charged in the case, Abdi Najib Hassan Youssef, who owns Star Autism Center in St. Cloud, Minnesota. Mr. Youssef, like others involved in the autism scheme, paid kickbacks to parents to have their children diagnosed with autism spectrum disorder and enrolled to receive EIDBI services at his autism center. Based on these fraudulent claims for services that were not provided, and in many cases were not needed, he received more than $6 million in Medicaid funds. He used some of those proceeds.
Man, we in the wrong business.
A semi-truck for $100,000.
Sheesh.
And he also sent more than $200,000 to Kenya.
So they were setting up autism clinics and recruiting members of their community to fraudulently sign up their children for...
Them niggas do look like they got autism. It wasn't hard for them niggas to get it claimed. Motherfuckers walking in there, ugly as hell, big eye motherfuckers. They like, yeah, he got autism.
Services. Now, you can't just set up a billboard or make a post on
Facebook
advertising to recruit people for your scheme. That's how you'll get caught. So what they did was work from within their unassimilated communities who have no allegiance to the American people, who share the same goal of making as much money as they can in America, whether it's legitimate or illegitimate, and sending it back to enrich their home countries. And in the eyes of the American public, these entire communities are guilty because nobody stepped up to expose this. Nobody did anything to try and stop it. It would have been seen as a betrayal by their own people because their allegiance, first and foremost, as Ilhan Omar frequently states, is to their home countries and people from their home country. Back when America had its immigration boom, these people were taking immense risk by coming to the United States. We were not a very established country. We certainly didn't have a robust welfare state. If you were a Chinese immigrant in the late 1800s moving to San Francisco, you left your entire life behind in China and crossed the entire Pacific Ocean to come to America and build a life for yourself. If you couldn't pull your own weight, if you couldn't provide for yourself, you would die hungry on the streets of San Francisco, in a country that was not your own, full of people who did not speak your language. If you came to America back in the time of the immigration boom, you were giving it everything you possibly can. Otherwise, you were better off just staying in your home country. But those are certainly not the immigrants of today. And it's more than just the Somali community. Let me be clear. They are only being seen as such a glaring example because they are so blatant and unapologetic about the way they feel. And so not only were they defrauding programs meant to feed hungry children, they were also defrauding programs meant to help children with autism. But would you be surprised if a lot of them were defrauding both programs? Watch this.
Well, let's just continue this conversation here because also today the U.S. Attorney's Office netted a guilty plea from a defendant who admitted to her role in a combination of fraud schemes.
So let's bring in Fox 9's Paul Bloom now with a closer look at her particular case. And Paul, this woman told a federal judge how she defrauded multiple programs out of millions of taxpayer dollars. So explain this case.
Yeah. Sure thing, Kelsey. Her name, Asha Hassan. You may remember the name. She was the very first defendant charged with defrauding Minnesota's publicly funded autism care program. She and her attorneys here would not comment on the case, but I do want to break it down for you. Hassan owned a business here known as Smart Therapy LLC. She pleaded guilty in 2 schemes, not just the autism care or EIDBI program, but also she admitted her role in the massive Feeding Our Future child nutrition fraud. In total, taking in some $14 million in Medicaid funds, another $450,000 supposedly earmarked to feed hungry children. Prosecutors point out she sent hundreds of thousands of dollars out of this country to Kenya to purchase real estate in her own name.
So, Paul, any idea how many of the charged defendants were involved in multiple schemes like Hassan?
Great question, Kelsey. The U.S. Attorney's Office mentioned about 24 or so Feeding Our Future defendants who were also receiving funding for their supposed autism clinics. And that's how these folks like Hassan got caught. In Hassan's case, her guilty plea includes restitution of nearly $16 million that she owes to the United States government.
In all of these cases, these people have been found to send money back to their home country.
Yo, what the fuck? Hold on. See something. Shit acting up. My shit glitching all crazy, man. The fuck? Shit glitching, man. Shit blowing my shit. Damn. Hold on real quick. Let me check something. Gotta figure this shit out, man. This shit. I don't know why this shit doing this, man. This shit is blowing my shit, man. What the hell? This shit is all over the place. Yo, you know what? Let me. No, I can't. Just that too. I'm just trying to figure out why this shit keep doing all of this. Shit keep fucking with me, bro. Bruh. I need a technician, man. I need a technician to hit me. Come over here and hook this shit up real right for me. Anyway.
Because they see their robbery of the American taxpayer as a noble and virtuous act, as a Robin Hood scheme of sorts. Steal money from the evil, rich imperial West and use it to enrich your people back home. The immigrants of today detest America for everything we stand for. It angers them to the core that their countries aren't able to build societies as prosperous, free, and flourishing as ours. They view our way of life as immoral and repugnant. They despise our way of life and walk around with hate in their hearts, ready to spring at any opportunity to rob us, steal us, defraud us, and accelerate our decline and downfall. But the forced government incompetence and ignorance as a result of people who are perceived as victims being protected led to these programs being developed as ripe for fraud. And while 90% of the people arrested so far have been Somali, as you saw in the last two clips, those people were from Kenya. And as you'll see in this next clip, even other Americans were coming to Minnesota explicitly to rob the state's welfare programs.
Federal agents raided a home health care agency suspected of billing Medicaid for housing services that it never provided. Now, this is all part of a crackdown on alleged fraud that cost more than $1 billion. That's billion with a B. You heard that correctly. Prosecutors say it was so easy to steal from Minnesota's welfare programs, people actually traveled from the East Coast to do it. CBS News Minnesota's Jonah Kaplan has more on the scandal.
U.S. attorneys in Minnesota filed fraud charges against 6 defendants on Thursday, including 2 men from Philadelphia. Prosecutors accused both men of what they called
Philly went over there and got it in.
fraud tourism, submitting up to $3.5 million in fake and inflated bills to a Medicaid housing program.
They came here because they knew and understood that Minnesota was a place where taxpayer money could be taken with little risk and few consequences.
These individuals had no connection to Minnesota, nor to its large Somali American community. Most of the nearly 90 people previously charged in the fraud.
They from Philly though, so you know they was probably Muslim, so they fit right in. You know what I mean?
Scandal are Somali.
This is why we get so frustrated when liberals insist that illegal aliens can't be receiving welfare because that's against the law. We acknowledge it's against the law, but we also acknowledge that politicians enable and accept the fraud if the data disproportionately points to people committing the fraud who are seen as part of a protected victim class who can't be criticized. We get so frustrated because we know nothing is perfect. We can't expect to see absolutely zero crimes ever committed by immigrants. We're just saying it should be so uncommon that it's basically never seen. But that's not the case. We see illegal aliens murder people every day. We see them sexually assault people every day. We see illegal aliens with commercial driver's license smashing into Americans and killing entire families every day. We see fraud being perpetrated every day. We see foreign national terrorist sympathizing agitators leading pro-Hamas protests on college campuses across the nation. It wasn't racist back in the day to point out that the Italian community seemed to have an organized crime problem, but
yo, Brandon Lehman going in. God damn. Hey, yo, bro. I don't know what's up with the channel, man, but my joint It's skipping all crazy, bro. Shit, glitch city, man. Like, what the fuck? Shit, blowing my shit. I ain't even gonna lie. Yeah, I know, man. My shit glitching crazy, man. My bit rate up and down like crazy. Shit, yo, this shit blowing my shit. I ain't even gonna lie. That's the same thing. Shit all over the place. Call in a technician. Cause my shit is glitching. And it's blowing my shit. Not even gonna lie. My shit just started doing this. Think it's the weather. Might be the weather, maybe. Damn, man, I can't even get through a fucking show. God damn. I'll be honest, I don't know. Anyway, man, I'm at least just try to finish this motherfucker. It's crazy because it like the videos is playing good. It like the videos is playing good. It's just my camera. I'm guessing, I don't know, this shit glitching. Oh, crazy. Anyway, let's get into this next joint with Devory Darkins.
HHS Secretary Robert F. Kennedy Jr. and Dr. Mehmet Oz, the administrator for the Centers for Medicaid and Medicare Services, announced that they are proposing 2 new rules. This will be followed by a period of public comment, so it means these rules won't take effect immediately. However, if they are enacted, and it is widely expected that they will be, they will have a major impact on virtually every hospital and many, many doctors' offices across the country. The new proposed rules would withhold Medicare and Medicaid funding from all hospitals that provide quote-unquote sex-rejecting procedures on minors. These procedures.
Yo, it's so crazy. It's so crazy that we even having this type of conversation though. Like the fact that minors, they was allowing minors to even get gender affirming care is crazy. That's how crazy and delusional these parents is nowadays. They sitting there convincing their kids that, you know, if you got a boy, you can got parents out here convincing their boys. I've seen gender reveals where people like, oh, I'm queer, or I'm gay, I'm transgender. All I hope is that they're gay or transgender. Like, I'm like, damn, like motherfucker ain't even out the womb yet, and you already wishing this motherfucker to be a trans. It's crazy to me. Like, I ain't gonna lie, bro. It's crazy times in America, bro. And the things that we actually even discussing is just wild to me. But, hey, man. Only in America. Yo, but I really think, now that I'm thinking about it, bro, the weather is shitty, man. But I got my shit connected directly to my Ethernet. So, it's directly straight to the internet, no Wi-Fi. So, the shit shouldn't be acting like this, but it is. But it doesn't matter. Fuck it. We're going to ride out.
Would include, as we mentioned, puberty blockers, cross-sex hormones, and surgeries. The second proposed rule would prohibit Medicaid reimbursements for any doctors that provide such services, a rule already on the books in 27 states.
All right, so what we just heard there from this huge announcement is another common sense piece of legislation that was promised by the president.
Common sense.
And because 77 million people mandated it, is protecting God's children. Why is it legal for doctors to cut off their body parts, even in some instances, without the approval of their parents? And
crazy.
They base this decision on science and evidence. We're going to get to, obviously, throughout.
Hold on, bro. Hold on. Is that really true? That a kid can get that surgery without the approval of their parents? Could you imagine that, bro? Could you imagine? How would that even work, bro? You just come home and your son shit just chopped off. Like, yo, these conversations nowadays is wild to me.
This video and show you the rhetoric that they're using to gaslight the American people over this. But first, I want you to hear a little bit more about what was said. Take a listen.
This follows yesterday's House vote, mostly along party lines, 216 to 211, to approve the Protect Children's Innocence Act. Sponsored by outgoing Republican Marjorie Taylor Greene of Georgia, the bill establishes federal criminal offenses for providing gender-affirming care to minors. And the bill also changes the existing federal criminal offense, strengthening the law that prohibits female genital mutilation and related conduct.
Most Americans agree that kids just need to grow up before they do anything radical, like a mastectomy on a 15-year-old girl, castrate themselves through surgery, or even take dangerous drugs that have lifelong effects.
Common sense.
3 Democratic lawmakers broke.
Yo, ain't it crazy? Well, yo, you know what? Shout out to them, bro. Because these 3 Democrats are the reason why it passed in the House. And I guess it got to pass. It's obviously got to go through the Senate in order to pass fully. But these Democrats are literally kicking for this shit. They're literally like suggesting that if kids can't be able to get this surgery and pretty much ruin their life, to be honest with you, that's how I'm viewing it. You're saying that you're killing them. Like, you watch the videos of these Democrats and the shit that they be saying, bro. It's so wild.
Ranks to support the advancement of the bill. They were Henry Cuellar of Texas, freshly pardoned by President Trump, Don Davis of North Carolina, and Vicente Gonzalez, also of Texas.
Now we get into what the opposing view is going to be from the left. They're going to claim that introducing the language that says that doctors could be criminally charged for doing this is wrong. They also believe doing this is taking away life-saving care from children. I mean, can you believe that as I say it out loud? Absolutely not, of course. But we're going to show you in their own words what they had to say about this, of course, because, you know, we like to show you both sides. But I will say this right up front. There is no country out there like the United States of America who has been doing this to their children at this rate. Okay, we are not doing them any favors, and an operation like this that cuts off their body parts is permanent. There is no going back on this. And that's why they should not be making these choices. And if they want to do it, they should wait till they're 18 years old. Heck, you got to wait till you're 21 years old to have a drink of liquor. I mean, come on.
Bro, just think about that. That's right. It's so many things that you got to wait to be 21 for. But to literally chop your shit off, you could get it done at 5, 6. Come on, bro. This is just a money play. Obviously, bro. It's no way, bro. People actually... This is a 95.5 issue. This is not nothing nobody is in the street screaming about. This is a 95.5 issue, bro. 95% of... I don't care if you're Republican, Democrat, Independent, fucking alien, reptile. You ain't agreeing with this shit, bro. This is wild.
Look, can we just be honest about it here? All right, now let me just show you this first clip. Okay, this is from Democrats, all right? Here she is losing it over this entire situation.
Leagues across the aisle, so-called limited government people,
look at
suddenly
her. She
want
looks like
government
a nut.
to get in the way of the decisions that parents and their kids make together. Why do they want to stop children from getting medical care that has been proven to be safe and effective and helps them to live happily? Helps them to live. Bruh. Just live. Why is the majority attacking vulnerable trans kids and raising the level of fear and hatred towards them? We should be protecting every family's right to make the decisions that they need to make for their child's well-being. And let me tell you something. What is happening on this floor and in this Congress around this issue is so incredibly dangerous. Trans kids are walking around with...
Yeah, see, right there.
Bro, hold on, bro. Just think about this, bro. Yo, it didn't even take that long. But, bro, I'm 36 for, I would say, 33 years of my life. This has never been a thing. Like, obviously, men wanting to put a dress on, that's been around since forever, right? But to the degree of today is insane, bro. It's insane. I'm not even gonna lie, bro. It's absolutely insane. Like, the propaganda that's being pushed to do these surgeries and just like, bro, gaslighting. Like, do you see the passion that this woman has to literally manipulate the people to think that kids not getting this surgery is the problem? What? Bro, you can't make this up, bro. You can't make this up, bro. It's actually sad, to be honest with you, bro. And these are the same people who is robbing us blind, fucking abusing every inch of power they have within the government. And on top of that, they pushing all of this type of, that's misinformation, bro. If anything is fake news and misinformation, it's that. Because that's crazy, bro.
Is my problem and why Democrats don't have credibility on this issue, because
they
can
glitching, bro. This shit, mom, my shit. I'm not
continue to claim that this is life-saving care. That's number one. Number two, this is evidence-based. We'll show you why it isn't. It's not evidence-based. You guys show me a study that says cutting off body parts of children will actually save their life. It doesn't. In fact, Elon Musk went on the record and expressed how he was lied to as a parent when it came to his son. This stuff is the devil at work, ladies and gentlemen. Big facts. I'm glad that RK Jr. and Dr. Oz has finally pulled the trigger on this. Of course, the House voted on this. We'll show you what the ending tally was, of course. And it still needs to go to the Senate, so it's not permanent. But the bottom line is this is the right direction towards common sense in America again and taking care of our children. Now, having said that, something tells me she doesn't see it this way. So let's listen to more of what she had to say.
Mace in their pockets because they are being attacked by people because the majority is insisting there's something to fear from them. And I will not stand.
Gentlewoman's time has expired. Thank you.
Give the gentlewoman an additional minute.
The gentlewoman is recognized for an additional minute.
I will not stand for these kinds of attacks. The condescension that is coming from the other side. Have you talked to your constituents? Do you really know? You don't really know what you're doing. Excuse me. We are represented. We are here to represent our districts, and I still believe I'm the member that gets the most votes of any member of Congress anywhere in the country.
Stop lying.
So don't tell me I don't know how to represent my district. What you are doing today, what this majority is doing today, is making life dangerous for kids.
All right, so I think we heard enough of what she had to say. It's more emotion and not actual facts, okay? She didn't introduce any data point study to prove that this is life-changing.
Just all feelings.
That's already a problem.
She's just speaking all feelings, bro.
No matter amount of screaming from Democrats is still going to persuade me as far as believing that cutting off body parts for children is the right thing to do. Let's just run this exercise in our mind. We know we have women who didn't even vote for the president, and they don't even believe in this stuff, okay? I mean, this stuff is insane. So when saying that it's life-saving care and that doesn't work, the next thing that they do is they talk about how this is going to put clinics and doctors out of business. Hear it for yourself.
Mr. Speaker,
that's what
it is shamelessly bold for Republicans to bring a bill to the floor called the Do No Harm in Medicaid Act. But that's today's Republican Party. They simply lack any shame, and I mean really, saying that they are doing no harm to Medicaid when their big ugly bill earlier this year cut nearly $1 trillion from the Medicaid program. That's a huge cut that will leave millions of low-income families without any health coverage at all. We're already seeing the devastating effects of their big ugly bill. States which are already facing budget shortfalls stare down a reduction of as many as 20% of their federal Medicaid funding. They're being left with an impossible challenge, and many have started cutting. We're seeing across-the-board cuts that are crippling hospitals, maternity units, home care providers, and clinics. We're seeing healthcare providers close their doors and cut their services. And we're seeing states scale back benefits, leaving even those who are able to keep their Medicaid coverage with less of the health care that they need. And now, even with all that, Republicans have the audacity to bring a bill to the floor that they claim is about doing no harm in Medicaid. That's not what this is about.
Okay, so if I had to choose between protecting God's children and a clinic going out of business because they want to hurt children, you already know which one we are going to choose every single time, okay? So I don't understand why that is the argument. Clinics are going to go out of business. No, they're not. And let's just understand something, too. You don't think the taxpayer who clearly voted for this, they probably won't mind a clinic going out of business, especially if the clinic is cutting off body parts? Let's just be real about it, okay? If a clinic is actually doing that, what else are they doing? So that's already a problem in and of itself. It shouldn't be used as a talking point or a way to defend these types of policies, because I think they're indefensible, just so we're clear. And if a clinic has to go out of business because they've been playing around with this stuff, then so be it. It's just like Planned Parenthood. Some of these offices have already gone out of business because, again, the taxpayers have something to say when we're talking about something that is publicly funded. Okay, so let me bring this entire point home as it pertains to what the left is saying. Watch this clip, and I want you to hear the rhetoric.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. I rise in strong opposition to H.R. 3492. This measure would allow politicians, not doctors, not families, in deciding medically necessary care for family members. It criminalizes medically necessary, evidence-based, life-saving care, and it threatens parents and physicians with prison time for providing care for their kids.
Okay, so notice
I think every person that is doing this to their kids should be arrested. And, bro, I can't even believe this is even a conversation, bro. This shit is actually making me mad, bro. You know what I mean? Just the fact that people are out here even making these type of decisions for children, bro. What could you possibly say to a child? I mean, you could pretty much say anything. Hey, look, if you get this lollipop, you'll get this lollipop if you let me cut off your genitals. What? What are we talking about? Bro, children cannot make their minds up about decisions like this. This is like adult. We see adults. I think even RFK, he had somebody that actually, I believe, did this. I'm not 100% sure, but I think that they actually got this gender affirming care, and they are talking about, or they're basically advocating for people not to do this. And they're going out and they're speaking and they're saying basically how their life has basically changed forever by doing this. So they're going around speaking at events and basically warning people look, if you do this, this is going to change your life forever, which it is, bro. Come on, what are we talking about, man? I'm happy Donald Trump is doing this, bro. This is why I say, bro, everything Donald Trump is doing, to me, is common sense, bro. It's common sense stuff. It's not even stuff that people be like, oh, shit, and be super, no, this is regular stuff. All we're doing is basically hitting the reset button and going back to normal. Just going back to normal, bro. Listen, if you're grown and you want to do this, do it. That's your business. But to put your children in it, to change your children's lives, just think about it. If you're doing this, especially at very young ages, 5, 6, bro, they're going to grow up and be like, yo, where my shit at? Yo, bro, this shit is crazy, man. There's some sick people out here in this world. We already know that. But it's we're getting to a time where people are just getting more insane. The ideologies are getting even worse. It's no, what just happened to just being a Christian? Or a Muslim, or what, I ain't even related to Muslims, because we don't be off none of that stuff. But what just happened to it? They just changing everything to where now, people are just talking about dumb shit. Like, fucking, how many genders are there? And they talking about I'm a Zerzi. Like, man, shut the fuck up. Blowing my shit, man. I'm going on to the next story with my boy Brian Maxwell. Sorry for the glitching. I'm going to blame it on the weather. I'm not totally sure, but I'm going to get this issue fixed. But the videos is playing fine. I'm also thinking it might just be a camera issue, misfunction. I'm going to fix that shit, though. But let's move on to this next story and talk about Kamala Harris. Big Dummy. Let's talk about Big Dummy. Hold on.
All right, Patriots. Now she is back at it. We got Kamala on Kimmel. And as you know, she was doing her tour, her book tour, 107 days. But here's the kicker. Anybody that's, paying attention to her tour at all, they would realize that, well, number one, her book ain't just selling off the shelves like that. Her tour is going to little towns in South Carolina, North Carolina, Jackson, Mississippi. Now, why would left-wing radical Kamala Harris be making book stops in Jackson, Mississippi and in South Carolina other than a presidential run? Those are the type of things you do when you start stepping into...
Hey, yo, hold on real quick. Yo, when he played these videos, just be honest, bro. Like, is she the fakest politician ever, bro? Like, seriously. Just watch her body language. Watch her body language as she's talking. When she do that thing with her hands where she be like... You just like... It looked forced. Like it looked like she be at home in the mirror, like, and looking at herself like, nah, maybe I should go a little lower. Like, yo, she's so fucking fake, bro. It's crazy.
Enemy territory or opposing territory, and you just meeting with the people, trying to schmooze a little bit, setting the stage. So she's definitely running. She ain't announced it yet, but she done everything except announce it. But she went on Jimmy Kimmel last night, and let's just say, whenever she steps out, she helps to remind the general public just to why we are so thankful for President Trump. So we're going to go through a couple clips. These you will enjoy them because the word salad souffle she serves up, and it's important to pay attention because Kimmel's...
I'm not even going to lie. I am extremely excited that she did not become the president of the United States of America. And it has zero to do with the fact that she's a woman or the fact that she pretended to be black for about 39 days. It has nothing to do with that. It's strictly only because she's not intelligent at all. Like, not even a little bit. And people say, oh, well, she has a degree and she was an attorney general. She was AG. So what? I don't care. That doesn't make you smart.
Going to ask her some real stuff. Why didn't the Biden administration release the Epstein files? What she did right after her embarrassing landslide loss to President Trump, among some other things. Like in this first question, Kamala Harris tells Jimmy Kimmel, we can't normalize what Trump is doing. And then she proceeds to generate massive word salad, and the audience claps like seals despite having no clue what she said. Let's get to it. Check out this first clip.
How do we get through the next 3 years?
We do not normalize this. Mm-hmm. And we have to have a certain level of faith in who we are as the American people. It may sound corny, but look, I have always believed that the power is
look at the body language.
And we can never let any one election or individual or circumstance take our power from us. We cannot allow our spirit to be defeated because then they win. And so over the next 3 years, it is about staying engaged and knowing the power that each of us have as individuals in terms of just how you participate in your community, in society, whether it's volunteering at a nonprofit or helping a neighbor who might be a single parent or getting engaged on whether it's an election or a campaign that is about something that's improving the safety and well-being of your community. We cannot, during these next years, say, hey, I'm going to pull the covers over, wake me up when it's over. We cannot do that. That is not the spirit of who we are as Americans. The spirit of who we are as Americans is we love our country and we fight for what is good and right.
Your book is called...
Now he asked, how do we get past this? And she said a whole lot of nothing.
A whole lot
I'm
of nothing.
amazed that she can do that for so long. And her facial expressions, I mean, she be moving.
Yo, that's what I'm saying. Like, she be doing the thing with her hands and she start. At least Trump shit is like coordinated. Like, he go with this. I mean, everybody uses hand motions, bro. But her shit is just, she is just not authentic at all, bro. I don't see what people even saw in her. I'm just being honest. Like, what do people see in Kamala Harris? She never said anything smart. You know, what has been, it will be, and she says dumb shit. Like, no policies. And that's the biggest thing for me. If I'm listening to politicians, which I just started, I'll say a year ago, really following politics. When I watch Donald Trump, I'm listening to what he's saying. What is he talking about? Is what he's saying, does it align with my lifestyle in a sense? Like, is it going to bring value to what I got going on in my life? You know, any of that. It has to align, bro. You can't name one thing that Kamala Harris has ever said that aligns with normal people. I'm just being honest, bro. During her whole campaign, all they ran on was abortion and what else? I genuinely can't think of nothing else because none of it was important. But I remember how hard that they were pushing abortion, like my body, my choice, that whole thing, right? And that's not a policy. It's not a policy, bro. Like, people, if they want to get abortions, they can still get them. You just probably can't get it in certain states. But, like, it's not like nothing that's like putting money in your pocket. That's nothing that's like going to help you save on your taxes. Like, it's not going to do anything. She said nothing, did nothing when she was in there, because she was in there. You know, everybody was saying, yo, why is all these illegal immigrants coming in the country? Because of Kamala Harris. She was the border czar. She did nothing about it. She skirted every time they asked her questions about it. She was exposed on it. She was part of Joe Biden's administration, whether people want to accept that or not. She made decisions right along with Joe Biden. She was right there. If anything, she was probably making more decisions than Joe Biden, to be honest, because he was cooked. He wasn't in his right state of mind, and we know that. So it was either her or Jill Biden or Obama. It was somebody. It wasn't Joe Biden for sure. And she did nothing, bro. She had 4 years to show that she could be a good president by being a good vice president. And she did nothing. Now everybody will say, oh, well, vice presidents don't really do nothing. She had tasks. Her task was to be the border czar. She was tasked with that. We all saw the video of Joe Biden tasking her with being the border czar. What did she do with the border? Nothing besides let 20 million illegal immigrants come into the country. She is part of the problem with the rest of the, establishment, bro, for real. She's part of the swamp that, and Trump beat her badly. She didn't win anything. I could see if she actually won some of the swing states or something, then you could sit there and say she has some type of potential because people actually are voting for her. She won nothing. She literally won nothing. She was just a person on the ballot. That was it.
She don't do the Gavin Newsom. Gavin be going crazy with it, but she literally be making the faces. And I wonder when she says something in her mind, she'd be like, yep, I just did that. You're welcome. I wonder if she does that. But let's check out this next one. Now, this is where he's going to ask her about the Epstein files and why they didn't release it.
Hold on, though, because I know that when she's talking to Jimmy Kimmel or anybody for that matter, she is like, especially at a place like Jimmy Kimmel, because they got the crowd. And we know these crowds are, they got the signs up, clap now and all that stuff. So it's really like whatever. But she is looking forward to that clap. Like, she says shit. Why watch these videos, bro? This shit's is funny. I'm gonna be honest. It's funny.
Now, after this clip, though, I'm going to let you check out what other Democrats have said as to their reasoning as to why they didn't push for the Epstein files to be released under Biden. And you're going to really get a kick out of that. But check out her her answer. Here we go.
Why didn't the Biden administration release those files? Was that something that they felt would look bad while they're running against this guy? Or why didn't?
Now, hold on. He asked a simple question. why didn't you guys release the files under your administration? You and Joe Biden. Why not?
They come out during your administration.
To give you an answer that will not satisfy your curiosity, I will tell you, we, perhaps to our damage, but we strongly and rightly believed that there should be an absolute separation between what we wanted as an administration and what the Department of Justice did. We absolutely adhered to that, and it was right to do that. The Justice Department would make its decisions independent of any political or personal vendetta or concern that we may have. And that's the way it worked.
All right, we're going to.
Now, do y'all know it has come out since they left office, number one, that there was no probable cause for the FBI to raid Mar-a-Lago? Did you know that? That recently came out within the last week. FBI, they even went to Christopher Wray in the FBI saying, hey, man, we don't have the probable cause to go into Mar-a-Lago. There's no reason. We don't have the cause to go in there for a raid. Merrick Garland them did it anyway. And she sits up there saying, oh, you know, the Department of Justice was separate over here, and we didn't feel like we wanted to tell them in. While they attacked President Trump, did a four-corner blitz on him with Jack Smith, Fannie Willis, Letitia James, Alvin Bragg, a four-corner press, not to mention the other political allies that were attacked by prosecutors. Their cases just didn't get national attention like President Trump's did because of Fannie sleeping with her special prosecutor, or Letitia also having mortgage fraud claims against her, or Jack Smith being somebody who has had more cases tossed out than almost any special prosecutor in the country for doing backhand twisted.
Yo, ain't it crazy though that all of these people that went after Trump have some type of like fraud or some type of bullshit going on with them? Like all of them. It's crazy. So the very things that they were accusing Donald Trump of, or trying to make him look bad and put him in that light, they all behind the scenes were doing something that was illegal. That's wild.
Political crap to cases. Then we got Alvin Bragg, who won't prosecute a single person in New York that's taking lives, brutalizing, and robbing people. But President Trump, oh my God, boy, he had a hard one for him. But any real criminals, he just for some reason doesn't seem to catch it. But let's check out what other Democrats, high-ranking Democrats like Chuck Schumer, even Hunter Biden. Wait till you hear what Hunter Biden says is the reason why the Democrats did not release the Epstein files under Biden. Check this out.
Just like it's a question that's out there. Why wouldn't they have been released the last 4 years when President Biden was in office?
Well, that's the question every American is asking. Not every American, but so many Americans are asking. What the hell is he hiding? Why doesn't he?
Yo, what the fuck? Yo, I played that clip on here before. He was asked, why didn't Joe Biden's administration drop the files? And he went straight to Donald Trump. Like, what the? He didn't even answer it.
You want them released?
That's crazy.
Now, did you see questions? But did you see how Chuck Schumer just spun that? No, that's what everybody wants to know. What is he hiding? Now, the man asked about Biden, but he tried to flip it to Trump. These folks are despicable.
Yeah,
obviously, one question, you're saying release the files now. Why didn't the Biden administration, why didn't Merrick Garland release the files from 21 to 25? And if they didn't release the files then, why should they be released now?
If you're enjoying this video, do me a solid, hit that thumbs up, because I'll never ask you for a Cash App or a Super Chat. But you hitting that like button, it helps a great deal. It helps get the video out there.
Florida, DOJ had prepared a 60-count federal indictment against Epstein for
House Democrats spent last week trying to force votes to release records related to Jeffrey Epstein. And you have said that you support that movement. Why are Democrats just looking at this and pushing for this right now and not really during the Biden administration?
I support transparency in terms of the American people. The far right, Donald Trump, right-wing conspiracy theorists and others are the ones who have put this Jeffrey Epstein thing in the public domain. Let's be clear about that. No one looking at the facts disputes that. This isn't anything that any of us as House Democrats have been focused on.
Oh my God.
Ever in terms
of
trying to fan the flames of what may or may not happen. But once...
Yo, do you understand how much these people lie, bro? Like the fact that they could get on camera like it's nothing and just lie about something this small. Like, we're not the ones that was worrying about the Epstein files, like, because they were asked why didn't they drop the files. Y'all making this big deal about it, but when y'all had the files and y'all had the power, y'all didn't drop the files. Because they never wanted to drop the files, bro. It's all an act. Politicians are just actors, bro. This is why it's got to be stipulations on being politicians, bro. Like, I believe, honestly, bro, I think it'd be better if you have some type of, build some type of business. Like, you got to have certain accolades to be a politician, bro. They just letting anybody be a politician, bro. Anybody. And this is why we're getting robbed blind.
It has broken into the public domain.
Why did the Democrats say nothing during the Biden administration? I've heard TV anchors ask. In fact, I was asked this morning the same question. Now, put aside the fact that in 2019, I called on Andrew Acosta to resign because of his connection to the Epstein files, and I wanted to learn more about why Epstein was not prosecuted. Put aside what Mr. Raskin and Mr. Cummings did. Let's just take you at your word that Democrats said nothing. Is that a reason for you to do nothing?
There's the whole argument, okay, like why do Democrats all of a sudden care about Jeffrey Epstein when they could have done X, Y, or Z? Well, your dad, your dad should have, released the files. Here's the thing. My dad was president of the United States, and like the 44 of the 45 people that preceded him, other than Richard Nixon, who left office because of it.
Bruh.
They have no answer. And did you hear the bullcrap that Hakeem Jeffries tried to spew? We've never pushed for this. This is Donald Trump is the one that found this. Like, President Trump started talking about Epstein first. Like, these folks are insane. And now Laura Loomer caught up with Thomas Massey, and they're going to ask him the same thing. And I'm just going off of what
Kamala.
Yeah, right. You piece of crap. You just know that you're in the tank as far as on your approval rating. President Trump isn't feeling you. MAGA's not feeling you. So it's one of those old adages. If you can't run it, you'll wreck it. So him and Marjorie Taylor Greene, since they can't run the party, they just want to wreck it. Like Marjorie Taylor Greene, MAGA's falling apart, but yet they voted in unison to pass that lower health premiums for lower health premiums American Act. They passed that. Marjorie. So these people are full of it. Now, let's check out this next question from Kimmel to Kamala.
Detail, which is for your debate prep when you had the debate with President Trump, and
I wanted more. He wouldn't agree to anymore.
I thought, that's over.
You notice like she's always trying to make excuses. I wanted more. He didn't want to go anymore. Lies on top of lies, bro. We only had 107 days. It wasn't enough time to prepare. Even though we had about $1.5 billion, more than any campaign has ever had. Like, bro, this bitch is so fake, bro. Yo, watch her response to this answer, bro.
It's done. The guy who played Trump in your practice debate.
Yes.
Yeah, brilliant. He is. There's a picture of the guy. He went full method actor on.
Oh, he did. He did. He did the makeup. He did the long red tie, and even when we were taking breaks, he would never be spanked with a Forbes magazine. Well, not in public, as we know. That's not how it has happened. But he never broke from character, and he studied Trump so that he had all the mannerisms and the expressions. It was eerie.
Detail.
Urgent message for seniors.
Anyway, hold on, man. Let me fast forward this. Hey, yo, that was the perfect, what's the name that they had for that? He said that it was cringe theater kids. That's what they call Democrats.
Kamala Harris, that's number one. Number two, you look at that debate and you can see the moderators were debating with Trump on the side of Kamala Harris. Not to mention, it also looked as if Kamala Harris was just way too prepared for this debate. She's the queen of word salads, but that day she spoke like an elegant swan, and that's not her way of being. So you factor all those on. It was on a crooked network, swan. ABC, where the president's wife allegedly was best friends with Kamala Harris.
So long story short, man, because I got to figure this joint out, man, because my shit all cutting crazy. It's blowing my shit. I ain't going to lie. every time I take a step forward, it's looking good, and then boom, something happened. Try to make some upgrades, but it's looking like a downgrade, being honest. But anyway, we know all about Kamala Harris. She's a fraud, just like the rest of the Democratic Party. To put everything in perspective about the Democratic Party, it's just theater, bro. They're all actors. That's it. All they do is get in front of the camera. They can't wait to do it, and they're going to put on their best act to make you believe that they actually care about your best interests and your well-being. They don't. And it's a fact, because look at what they did. For 4 years under Joe Biden, ruined the country. Now Trump is in office. Now they're blaming all of their faults on Donald Trump. But it's not working. In this joint, he showed, and I ain't going to play his whole show. Go check out Brian Maxwell at Brian Maxwell on YouTube. Even another segment that she had, she brought up, what did she bring up? Oh, she brought up the fact that, the prices is high, rent high, inflation high. All lies. Like, the report, they literally, even CNN just posted that inflation was lower than projected, lower than what the CBO projected. And these are people that they, look to for that information. But it was projected to be 3%. It's 2.7%. You know what I mean? So things are going down. Things are going in the right direction, like Trump said it is. But do they give him his props? No. And I keep saying this, bro. Democrats would do way better and would actually do something good for their people if they just teamed up with Trump and actually cared about the country. But instead, they want to go against them, and who knows? I don't know what be in these people's brains, but honestly, I think it's goofy shit. I just think they don't have no loyalty to the country. It's either loyalty to some money for their self and for their own pockets, or they just literally hate America that much. And another thing is, too, that we need to take out of the government. If you're not a true U.S.-born citizen, bro, I don't think you should be able to run for any type of government position, period, bro. Seriously. We can't trust you. Even with the whole Israel, the dual citizenship, none of that should be possible. How can you have dual citizenship? How could you be in the U.S. government and have allegiance to America and another government? It's impossible. It's impossible. So you literally have people in the government right now who has allegiance to Israel, and they're in our government. You can't make it up, bro. Only in America. Only in America, bro. There's so much goofy shit going on within our government, man. It's neat. I don't know what it's going to take to really change. That's why I be telling people, like, bro, listen, it's going to be what it's going to be. You kind of got to roll with it, to be honest with you. But, at least Donald Trump is doing some things that most of us like. A lot of people, aren't really digging this whole Israel issue. But for the most part, when it comes to the financial side of things, it's kind of looking up, I guess. It's looking better than it was. What the fuck, man? That's my whole thing. But it's a lot of goofy stuff with the government. That's why I don't like the government, bro. I'm going to be honest. I really don't like the government. I feel as though the government is entirely too large, too large. Like, it's so many departments in the government that have, like, so many employees, like, and it's all being paid off the taxpayer dime. You know what I mean? So I fuck with Trump, talking about getting rid of a lot of departments in the federal government. For real. I think that's super needed. And we need to stop giving money to foreign countries. For what? For what? A country is a country. It means you have your own military, you have your own shit. Why are we subsidizing other countries for? Like, and we're in debt. We're the ones in debt. We're subsidizing countries that aren't even in debt. Yo, the stuff we do is insane, bro. I'm being honest. A lot needs to change, bro. I just know this. I'm glad the Democrats ain't in power. I'll tell you that much. Because we wouldn't even be on the direction we wouldn't even we definitely wouldn't be getting a little $1,000, $2,000 during tax season. That's a fact. If anything, they would be taking $1,000 or $2,000 from us if Kamala Harris would have became the president. I'm just being honest. But anyway, man, thanks for tapping in with me, man. A couple people actually stayed in, surprisingly, man. This shit glitching like a motherfucker. I think it's the weather, though, to be honest. But I'm going to figure it out. I got to get this shit down packed. I hate when this stuff happens. It literally blows my shit. I like going live. That's the thing. I can easily just record my episodes and just do it that way and don't have any of these problems. I can edit my videos up real nice, add edits in there and all of this great stuff because I'm pretty good at editing. But I like going live. You know, just giving raw, uncut thoughts that come out of my fucking brain. And I really enjoy going live, man. So I got to figure this shit out. You know, if you know anything about this setup shit, help me out. Seriously. Because my shit was running smooth. And honestly, I switched services and I think it's that. But I don't know, man. It's blowing my shit down. I'm going to be honest. It's really blowing my shit. But anyway, man, that's the show for today. If you enjoyed the show, please hit that like button. Now, it's hard to say you enjoyed the show today with this shit as choppy as it's been. But, you know, hit that like button, hit that share button. Comment down below. Also, hit that subscribe button. I am trying to get monetized. Help your boy get monetized by hitting that button. It costs you nothing. It costs you nothing. Just hit it right now. Matter of fact, go ahead and hit it. Also, hit that notification bell so you get notified every time your boy go live. The next episode, I promise, will be back better than ever. Yo, until next time, this your boy SL550. I'm out. Millionaire thoughts, billionaire dreams. I know niggas who played ball and gave it up for lean.
Millionaire thoughts, billionaire dreams, but my account in overdraft, I'm about to scream.
Rich man greed,
a poor man prayers.
Every man bleeds,
but look how God made us.
Too many losses, it's only right that we win. Yeah, I made a promise I'm never gonna lose again.